two significant fires fueled by dry conditions and very high winds.
I want to get right to Boulder County Sheriff Joe Pelley. Governor Polis is there as well. This is the latest from a 5 o'clock update.
And in the areas of Superior and Louisville who have been evacuated. We know that there are structures, both homes and businesses, that have been burned and lost. I'm speaking about hundreds of structures. We know that people are anxiously waiting for word about the conditions of their homes and their neighborhoods. I want to assure you that our fire personnel are working as hard as they can to save additional structures as we speak, and when it's safe to do so, we'll start the emotional and painful process of assessing damages. The two fires started late this morning. The first fire, called the Middle Fork Fire, was reported just before 10:30 near the intersection of North Foothills Highway and Middle Fork Road. That fire was attacked pretty quickly and laid down later in the day, and it's currently being monitored. There are no reports of structures lost for the Middle Fork Fire. The second fire, the Marshall Fire, was reported just after 11 o'clock a.m. at South Foothills and Marshall Road. Over the course of the day, this fire ballooned and spread rapidly east. It's currently reported to be at about 1,600 acres. It spread through Superior and parts of Louisville and unincorporated Boulder County. A Vista Hospital and many care facilities in the area have been evacuated. The Louisville Police Chief and City Manager, or Mayor, are here to provide more information on Louisville and what's happening there, and they'll talk to you in just a minute. At this point, we only have one reported injury, a minor injury to an officer's eye from wind-blown debris. It's too early to tell if we have any fire-related casualties. We have no fire-related casualties reported currently. However, I'd like to emphasize that due to the magnitude of this fire, the intensity of this fire, and its presence in such a heavily populated area, we would not be surprised if there are injuries or fatalities. The conditions around the Marshall Fire are still very volatile and unsafe. We'd encourage anyone in a mandatory evacuation zone who has not exited to do so. Others in nearby neighborhoods may be under pre-evacuation orders. We encourage all residents to stay alert for any orders from officials. We have evacuation centers open at several locations: the North Boulder Rec Center, the Longmont Senior Center, and the YMCA in Lafayette. The YMCA in Lafayette is taking pets. For the latest map of the fire, please go to www.boco, for Boulder County, /info map. Animals are currently being evacuated to the hundreds of them there now. Positive are asked to go to the Mount Calvary Lutheran Church, Boulder. We are working to establish overnight shelters for individuals. The best information about these resources is boulderoem.com. The call center has been established. 413. And if you have questions about the status of your home, evacuation routes, whether your street's open, that kind of thing, I would please encourage you to call 303-413-7730 rather than 911. Our 911 lines have been inundated all day. As you can imagine, evacuation routes have been heavily trafficked. We have sheriffs, police, National Guards coming out, other law enforcement officials assisting motorists fleeing the area and keeping evacuation routes open. They're responding to this emergency with us as the situation becomes more under control. We hope the strong winds will decrease through the are anticipating continued occasional not attempt to return to their neighborhoods until they receive official word it's safe to do so. May not be for several hours. In regards to structure and damage and that kind of thing, I have some initial estimates right now. Again, we're up to approximately 1,600 acres. We know that Approximately 370 homes in the Sagamore subdivision, which is just west of Superior, have been lost. There's a potential of 210 homes lost in Old Town Superior. The Target shopping complex in Superior on fire. The Element Hotel in Superior fully engulfed. We had the one officer injured. Fortunately, no other reports of evacuation or damage. I want to thank the following agencies who jumped in to assist us today under extreme situation in really quick order, and that's the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office, the Larimer County Sheriff's Office, the Golden Police Department, the Longmont Police Department, Louisville Police Department, Lafayette Police Department, our Sheriff's Office, the State of Colorado Division of Public Safety. Thank you, Director, for being here. The Governor's Office, Department of Homeland Security, the National Guard has been activated thanks to the Governor's Office, and we have more assistance and more help coming in regards to federal aid and federal assistance and state aid and state assistance. And Governor Polis will talk to you about that in a few minutes. So next, I'm going to introduce officials from the city of Louisville, the police chief, and let him introduce his mayor as well. They'll have a few words, and then the governor will speak.
Thank you. Good evening. I want to thank, in addition to the thanks that Joe Pelley provided, we've also got Chief Harold here from the Boulder Police Department, Chief Jeff Satter here, who's been with me this afternoon, and I know the Boulder Police Department's been working as well, so we appreciate it. My name is Dave Hayes. I'm the police chief in Louisville. It's Hayes. Today is filled with some stories of incredible loss and tragedy, but there are also many stories of the people of Louisville coming together to support and care for one another. Thank you to all the people of Louisville for the way you handled and responded to the fires today. I ask that in the months ahead you continue to find ways to assist each other in healing from what has happened today. I would also like to surround our surrounding law enforcement agencies, as the sheriff did, and fire agencies that came to support our efforts today. There's just several to mention specifically today because they're here. Longmont, City of Boulder, Lafayette, Erie, Broomfield Police Department, and the list goes on and on and on. And that's also on the fire side. Many of these folks are continuing to work. They'll be working through the night and through, I'm sure, the weeks ahead, so hard to prevent more damage from happening. The medical and treatment facilities in our city, both the Vista Hospital and Centennial Peaks Hospital, have taken great action in assuring the safety of their patients. There have been patients who have been evacuated to other facilities, and I would ask that if you need information about a patient, you contact the hospital directly. The Louisville Police and Fire Departments are currently operating our individual command post in the King Soopers parking lot at 1375 East South Boulder Road. There were some community rumors that the Louisville Police Department was evacuated because of a fire at the police department. This was not the case, but rather the police department was evacuated due to spot fires in the area. I was in the building this afternoon as we began to set up our Emergency Operations Center, small one for the city of Louisville, and actually could see flames right outside the window where we've got some vegetation. The Louisville Police and Fire Departments will continue to serve our city tonight and throughout this tragedy. We also ask that the people of Louisville continue to act calmly and appropriately. If you are able to stay in a location outside of Louisville tonight, then we ask that you do so. The Louisville Police Department will continue to patrol the streets of Louisville and will not tolerate looting or other related activities. We ask that you stay tuned to city and police department communication outlets, as well as the county information, evacuations, and fire efforts. Our thoughts and prayers are with all of those who have been affected by the fires today. The community of Louisville is resilient, and together we will forge through this together. Thank you. Louisville City Mayor Ashley Stoltzman.
Hi, I'm Ashley Stoltzman, Louisville's mayor. I want to first who have risked their lives today to try to get this emergency under control. It's been a great effort, and they're still working into the night. So thank you to all of the different police officers and firefighters and other first responders who have been helping our Thank you very much for evacuating in an orderly and quick manner. Please stay evacuated. We want everybody to stay safe, and we're going to get through this together. We need everybody to stick together at the different shelter-in-place sites. So go to the YMCA in Lafayette. You can go to the Senior Center in Longmont, and just make sure that you're somewhere out of Louisville and safe. So thank you so much, and keep looking on the emergency website for updated information as the emergency is changing very rapidly.
The eyes of the nation of Colorado turn to Boulder County, where 1,600 at least acre fire has destroyed hundreds of homes. Just to put this in perspective, in the summer of 2020, Colorado had the 3 largest wildfires in the history of our state. Each one over 200,000 acres. That's a number. Those are huge numbers. But what's important to recognize is while there were some structures lost, those were largely BLM U.S. Forest Service land. This area, for those who don't know this area of Boulder County, is right in and around suburban subdevelopments, stores. It's like the neighborhood that you live in. It's like the neighborhood that any of us live in. And so 1,600 acres near a population center can be, and is, in this case, absolutely devastating. We declared a state of emergency earlier today. I just found out that we've been approved for Fire Management Assistance Grant, FMAG. That's federal assistance. We're going to, of course, be starting damage assessments for public assistance and individual assistance. Many people, of course, also have that alongside fire insurance, but there's no way to quantify in any financial way the price of a loss. The chair that was handed down to you from your grandmother, of losing your childhood yearbooks, of losing your photos, of losing your computer files, which hundreds of Colorado families have experienced today with no warning. Gusts of 100, 110 miles an hour can and have moved this fire down a football field in a matter of seconds. Very little time to get out, very little time to even get the most important parts of your life. And yes, it'll be a difficult process for Colorado families who are directly affected to rebuild their lives. I hope if you have friends in the affected areas, as we do in Superior and Louisville, in areas of Broomfield or Lafayette that may be under evacuation, contact them, see if they need anything. If you have spare beds in your home, they might very well need them. But it also shows how challenging it is with severe weather conditions to be able to battle this kind of fire. Here in December, who would think? We've been unable to fly state the wind conditions. We stood up today providing help through the and then any additional resources. But this fire is not so much a question. We have a profound police officers and others, those working. But this fire is frankly a force of nature. Down that the weather changes. Know that you don't stand alone. The people, for those who don't know, if they have, our prayers are with you for a safe. Lost everything that they've had to help rebuild your lives. With that, we'll take some questions.
Be unaccounted for tonight.
Persons, and we have no casualty report. Said, given the ferocity, it wouldn't surprise us if we do.
Are firefighters able to get?
Some of them, yes, and some going to be when it's and that's going to determine every access points and that deputy sheriffs and firefighters, they just got overrun. Stuff going on today out there.
have been evacuated?
Tens of thousands. Yeah.
A lot of people really concerned about their homes. Can you repeat divisions and also repeat the information about the target?
Is it appears that all the homes there. Old Town, we believe approximately 210 homes. Superior and Marshall by Eldorado Springs, and small subdivisions that lost homes. Talking about over 500 homes. Thousands of people in need.
For those who are trying to figure out where we are in battle, in the middle, I know we're not at the end.
Until the wind subsides. You can't fight head on. In that single fire subdivision and 12 homes are burning, all they can try to do is protect the next one. You know, we hope the loss is over tonight. We hope these wind firefighters are going to put a stop to it.
Sheriff, any idea? It said that, you know, you expected another fire in the all of a fire sweeping across these kind of crowds.
And we have an office of it's one of the best offices in the state of Colorado as far as counties go, and we're really well practiced at disasters, unfortunately, in our county. But yeah, we had, so preliminarily, the reports were down power lines. And we had deputies in the area who confirmed there were down power lines. So we believe that assessment and the actual determination of that will be made for real and for final, you know, probably in the next couple of days.
Is that the Marshall fire?
Yes, that's both fires.
Both fires?
The hospital.
Chief Hayes, I don't know the answer to that question, do you?
Within a block or two there.
Within a block or two, and I know the reason they were getting smoke in their facility and difficulty for patients to deal with
It's a pretty
it.
big parking lot. There's not much shrubbery in the parking lot, so I think it's, as the sheriff mentioned, it's more about the smoke and the ventilation system than it is concern about the fire itself reaching the hospital.
Do you know how many patients? And Governor or Stan, do you know if the tonight potentially, is there a chance for that?
Hi there, my name's Stan Hilke. We do have aircraft that can help fly and they fire and to look for other hotspots that may not be known. We're monitoring the weather minute by minute. We haven't been able to use any of our aircraft.
Expecting crews to be able to go into those burns, assess the damage, but see if
Yeah, so the damage assessment process is possible. So Boulder County, with our assessors, properties, we have detectives, and the State Department of Assessment team, they've already volunteered starting tomorrow. The weather, it looks like the wind's going to die down. And when that happens, 80 links, none of us have a chance. And tomorrow, I think all those processes will. Houses, do we have any loss? Animals, that kind of thing. We're going to try to figure all that.
for you to have to show up to a scene, see, really not be able to do much about it.
So, police officers, the deputy sheriffs, fighters, they're essentially just running ahead of. That's all you can do. And we had deputies pulling into subdivisions and the stickers off the side of their car, and they eat. And so, thankfully, phone notification system for our community launched, dozens and dozens and our deputies, officers that came to help us, they were rushing ahead.
I would just add that community level, some of the first responders are under evacuation orders as we speak, so they are still on the front line with evacuations and containing the fire. Under evacuation orders, it's really that live in those homes, and our first responders home to return to, but they're still on the front line.
Governor, do you know how many National Guard members the role is?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Today, Director Hilke helped me a dozen, and their whole shift work of road closure.
Residents in Boulder, Lafayette, safe and what they should do? Do you have advice?
And just this is based on the trajectory that you are north of zones, you're in pretty good shape. Really concerned about the speed of issuing those evacuation orders as fast. So if you're not on that evacuation map, I alert and aware and stay in tune.
Hotline 303-413 BoulderOEM. Question.
Sheriff, you the speed of this one and the difference. Fire, can you describe kind of what it was like?
Yeah, as the governor said, field lengths. My deputies and animal horses and that kind of thing said that a fire. So this was a
Press conference, the latest from Boulder County Governor Jared Polis, trying to 6.5 hours of fire burning the day were terrifying. The images we see tonight, not much better. It continues to spread. What we've now been described as a 1,600-acre fire, the Marshall Fire that has swept through Superior and Louisville. We've been talking about nearly 600 homes feared lost by the sheriff in the Sagamore neighborhood. And when you think of Old Town Superior, 210 homes lost. That's a lot of the town at best. So this is now what we're evacuations.
We don't intend to do another media briefing. We'll handle everything through normal course of PIOs and social media. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, Joe. Thank you.